Good morning, students of class 10. Welcome to our English period, and today let us proceed further and study the next poem in our English literature named Animals, written by Walt Whitman. The following poem is drafted out of compassion towards animals by the poet. He feels comfortable and at peace in the presence of animals. Most of us have domestic animals or some pets, and it is observed, or even the study says, that spending some time with our pets or even with stray animals relieves us from stress. You love them and they love you in return. They feel happy and we are happy, and sad when we are sad, and it is vice versa. It is difficult to decode their purrs, their mews and barks, but they do smile and they do shed tears, and thus we understand their emotions, right? I have 2 adult cats and 3 kittens at home. Let me tell you, it gives me immense joy to feed them and to see them do acrobats, run here and there. Fine. We make sure that we see them in the morning and before going to bed. It is our responsibility to keep them happy, healthy and safe. So now, talking about the poem, let us start reading the poem and see what the poet has got to offer us today through this poem. So we have the introduction of the poet Walt Whitman, born in 1819 and passed away in 1892. Walt Whitman, a major figure in early American poetry. In an age when all poetry was rhymed and metrical, Whitman made a break with tradition and wrote a revolutionary new kind of poetry in free verse. He was a nonconformist in all respects, including the social life. The poet tells us that he feels more at home with animals than humans, what he finds complicated and false. So here I read the few lines, or let us first read the entire poem and then I'll explain it to you. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. I stand and look at them long and long. They do not sweat and whine again about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for the sins. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Not one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself. They evince them plainly in their possession. I wonder where they get those tokens. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? So this was the poem written in free verse. That means there are no rhymes made. There is no metrical scale followed in writing down the poem. So before we try to understand the meaning, let us take a look at the words, difficult words and their meanings. So turn, here, transform. Placid, not easily upset. Self-contained, self-sufficient. Make me sick, disgust me. Demented, mad. Mania, craze. Respectable, here, too happy and satisfied. Events, show. Tokens, here, virtues like innocence, simplicity, contentment, etc. So these were the words and meanings. Now let us try to understand the explanation of the poem. I think I could turn and live with animals. They are so placid and self-contained. I stand and look at them long and long. They do not sweat and whine about their condition. So the poet expresses his wish to live with animals because they are cool. Cool in the sense they don't get easily upset, and moreover they are contented, unlike the humans. When he watches them for a long time, he notices that no matter in what the situation or condition is, they do not complain. Fine. So they do not sweat and whine about their condition. They do not lie awake in the dark and weep for their sins. They do not make me sick discussing their duty to God. So that means they are free of guilt, and thus they do not weep for the sins. But basically, do animals commit any sins? Animals do not commit any sins. Even the carnivores like the lions, the tigers, the wolves, etc. are free from sins, although they kill other animals. But this is for their survival, right? So they don't kill more than their appetite. But humans do have large appetite for money and for food, which gradually goes against their health. And when humans commit any sin, it haunts us, isn't it? It keeps us awake at nights, and we weep on it. So the animals do not even make the poet sick of discussing their duty to God. It means that, they do not make me sick discussing the duty to God. It means that the poet is happy to be in their company, in their presence, because they do not boast or brag of their work. Right? Now the next line. Not one is dissatisfied, not one is demented with the mania of owning things. Animals are always seen to be satisfied in what they have or what they get. They are not mad with the craze of owning things. They do not hold property nor post like we do. No one kneels to another, nor to his kind that lived thousands of years ago. In their world, they do not kneel in front of any other animal or to their ancestors. There is equality in them, in all of them. Not one is respectable or unhappy over the whole earth. It means that no one is more respectable than the other. Fine. So they show their relations to me and I accept them. They bring me tokens of myself. They evince them plainly in their possession. I wonder where they get those tokens. Did I pass that way huge times ago and negligently drop them? In these last lines, the poet believes that he is no different than the animals, which with such virtuous qualities, and therefore he accepts to be friend, or he accepted to be friend with them. He believes that he had such qualities, but probably dropped them down in course of time. But now he realizes his mistakes and owns animals as his family, as his friends. So this was the meaning of the poem Animals. I hope you've understood it. In case of any difficulty, please do let me know through WhatsApp or through Google Classroom. If you have understood the poem, please write down the summary. We will discuss more about the poem on Monday. See you in the next session. Till then, goodbye. Thank you.